Hi guys, my name is Martin Nebelong. I'm a freelance artist living in Denmark, and I've been working professionally for about 14 years now. And I've been drawing digitally since I was about 13 years old. And I'm 34 years now. So it's been quite some time since I made my first brush strokes in Photoshop. I've always considered myself more as a 2D artist, but VR has slowly started to change the way I feel about 3D. Um, in this video, I'm working in Oculus Medium, which is one of the first VR sculpting tools that I started feeling comfortable in. And as you can see, it's quite intuitive to work in this program, as you just kind of draw in thin air around you. It's a sensation that's a bit hard to describe, and I urge you to go out and try it yourself if you find it just a bit interesting. At least to me, it has really changed my workflow and my outlook in terms of 3D, at least. In this video, I'll be showing you the process of making a base sculpt in Oculus Medium, which is a voxel-based 3D program. Once I'm finished with this base sculpt, I'll be taking it into another VR app called Quill, and you might know this program from some of the amazing work that has been posted on Facebook and Instagram made in this tool. Quill is basically just a drawing program that allows you to draw in 3D space. It's still based on geometry though, even though it looks flat. It's just a 3D editor without any artificial lighting, so all shadows and stuff you have to draw yourself. But what I'm going to use Quill for in this project is for the foliage and grass, and for all the small details in a sculpt. Oculus Medium is great for the larger shapes, as the rocks here and the ground and the tree trunk. But it's not that great for leaves and stuff. So what I'm going to do in this video is combine the strengths of the two programs. And as you see here, I'm drawing some markers in space, and those markers will allow me to align the output of Quill and Medium. Okay, I just saved my project here as an OBJ and an FBX and vertex colors. And vertex colors will allow me to use the colors I've made in Medium in the last step of this tutorial. I'm in Quill now, and I just imported the output from Medium. And as you can see, I start by drawing some dots on the markers I made in Medium. And again, this will allow me to align the output of both programs in the last program I'm using in this tutorial. And then I'm beginning to draw on top of my imported sculpt. And as you can see, it's a process of duplicating and moving, merging, duplicating, moving and merging until I get the amount of detail that I'm looking for. It's a very quick process, and you can very quickly end up having a very detailed look. Quill is an amazing program, and recently it's gotten even better by allowing you to import 3D objects as reference or as a base for your painting, as is the case here. You can see I'm drawing some manual brush strokes as well in between to mix up the tiled look a bit. Then I'm using the colorize tool, and I'm using multiply as a layer mode to get some shadows beneath the grass. And the next step after the grass will be to make the canopy of the tree. Now you can see I'm starting by drawing a single leaf with a flat brush or with flat geometry, and I'm adding some color, and then the next step will be to just duplicate those leaves many times. And I'm going to duplicate this batch of leaves, basically just filling the canopy with leaves. And it's the same as with the grass. I'm duplicating, moving, and merging, etc. until I get the detail that I want. And you can see I've added some color variation to the leaves as well. And when I'm exporting this model, I'll retain those colors using vertex color, and then I can import the colors into the program I'm using in the end of the tutorial. It's a program called Marmoset Toolbag, and it's basically a real-time viewer for 3D graphics. So I'm able to make adjustments to light and shadow and materials and see the changes in real time. It's a great program too. You can see I'm adding some twigs and branches to the tree to make the tree trunk connect to the leaves. Um, there'll still be some batches of leaves just floating in thin air, but it's not that important for this project. That in the end I'll end up skipping because it's very difficult for me to align the output of the two programs precisely enough to make the drawings match up to the geometry here. I think it's an area that can still be improved by the developers of both programs, and it has to do with the outputs of the programs not sharing the same place in world space. So what you see me doing here is importing the two outputs into Marmoset Toolbag, and then my task here is to match or align those two outputs. And as you can see, I'm struggling quite a bit with that, even though I made those little marker points in 3D space. That'll help me to at least get the basic alignment right. So I'm spending quite some time getting this right. And it's an annoying extra step that could easily be avoided uh, by allowing the outputs to share the same world space, I guess. And once this step is done, you'll see me starting to add materials to the surfaces. And in Marmoset Toolbag, you have either the option of adding albedo layers or diffuse maps, or you can choose to use vertex color. And in this case, I outputted vertex colors from both medium and quill. So it's quite easy and fast to set up the textures here. And for the canopy, I'm going to be using subsurface scattering materials to allow the light to shine through the leaves. And you can see I'm still trying to get the alignment right. And I think I might have finally reached the point where I'm satisfied with the alignment, and I'm starting to add the materials. I'm making basic adjustment to the materials for their glossy properties and the intensity of the reflections in the materials. But apart from that, it's a very straightforward process of just making materials for the different meshes and setting up lights, and lastly changing camera settings such as depth of field, tweaking curves, etc. I think Marmoset Toolbag is a quick and very easy way to get from a raw model to a more finished presentation. So it's great for mockups for further refinement in Photoshop, and it's great for presentations of your models. And as you can see, I'm still tweaking materials, and I've gotten to the leaf material now, and I'll be starting to experiment a bit with subsurface scattering to get a more interesting look for the leaves. I've added a directional light to simulate sunlight, and I'm tweaking shadows as well as subsurface scattering. And this is a very fun process, I think, mainly because you're seeing results so quickly. Still tweaking some light settings and adding a shadow plane. And I'm also working a bit with the HDRI images in the background to simulate some ambient light as well. And then I'm also adding some global illumination effect to get some light scatter going for a more realistic look. And you might be able to tell already that the light is actually scattering through the leaves and coloring the surface of the tree trunk and twigs a bit here. And from here on out, it's just a matter of tweaking lights, tweaking camera settings, and playing around with materials until I get the look that I'm after. I'm adding some bluish rim light in the background, and I'm actually grouping that to the camera so that whenever I move the camera, the light will always stay behind the tree. I'm playing around with some fog settings here, but I'm not really liking the results, so I end up discarding this again. Then I'm adding some depth of field, and I'm just playing around with the camera settings. Anyways, I hope you guys found this tutorial useful, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where VR as a production tool will take us. For me, it's already changed my work a lot, and I hope you all get the opportunity to try working like this. Thanks for watching.